Welcome, listeners, to episode 115 of the Plastic Posse podcast. We're super excited you've joined us today, and it's JB here. We're a little bit light, but I also have with me Jensen and Grant. It's going to be a great episode. We're missing Scott and TJ, but with that, let's go around the room and see how everybody's doing. Jensen, I'm going to kick it over to you across the pond.
Hello. Yeah, I'm doing really well. I have zero complaints whatsoever, which is going well because I love a good complaint. But yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Um, Modeling has been a little bit light. Everyone has been getting on to me about that, but yeah, although the modeling on the bench has been light, the the plenty of things to discuss and talk about for the past couple of weeks anyway. So don't worry, I'm not just here for the sake of being here.
Yeah, but you're still modeling. I mean,
Yeah,
your Flackpanzer, Kugel Blitz thing, whatever it is, that looks awesome, and you're going to finish it for amps. If I can finish this damn Firefly for amps, you're going to finish that.
it's true. Yeah, there's literally no avoiding that. It is there ready for primer, and the longest process and all that is out the way now. So there's no excuse if it's not done.
Are you going to finish it? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to on it. I can't turn
You're
up.
gonna have to, man.
Nothing. Yeah.
TJ's gonna make
Um,
you sleep outside with the rabbits.
yeah, it'll be done. It has to be. Like I said, I can't go to amps and bring nothing.
Yeah,
That would be unpodcast like. It would un triple P of me to do.
that's right. That's right. Because Ian's gonna get you if you don't.
Oh, it's been a while since I get got, so I'm due again.
You will have the bank vault to lock yourself in.
That I'm looking forward to. I have my sense of security there.
And for our listeners, we're not joking around. We actually have an Airbnb that used to be a bank. So one of the bedrooms is a vault. And what better way to welcome an international than having him sleep in the vault? So
I'm hoping the big lock mechanism still works.
yeah, and then we put you in there and we have to call like Danny Ocean to get you out. Oh man, but no, it should be a great time. I mean, we are less than 3 weeks away from that it's going to be
Terrifying.
it's going to be wild. I mean, we are two free weekends away, and then we are at the AMPS International show in Camp Hill, which is essentially Harrisburg across the river. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. There's a lot of people coming. East Coast shows are always well attended. We're gonna be sad missing Grant. We'll catch up with him at SMC, but AMPS should be a really good time. A lot of great seminars, a lot of great people, and really looking forward to show. Scott's gonna be there, so I don't think Scott's crossed the Mississippi in a while. Um, so I'm pretty excited about that. For our listeners, I got to tell you this Scott story. We're going to go down a Scott Trail right now. So we're looking at booking rooms for the trip for SMC, and I'm like, hey Scott, you should think about getting the XL room at this one hotel we're looking at. And he responds to me, he's like, oh, well, you don't think two queen beds are big enough for Josh and I? And I'm like, obviously you've never traveled to Europe. Double queen rooms aren't really a thing, Scott. So, oh boy, we're gonna bring the boy out of Utah for this trip. He's gonna get a little culture shock. But anyway, enough of that. I'm gonna kick it over to Grant. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great, doing great. Got some modeling done this last week, which was good. Doing some more scratch building stuff, and just looking forward to. I'm gonna miss you guys in Amps. I got a work requirement. I'm gonna have to fly to South Korea for. But other than that, yeah, I wish I could make it up make it with you guys. And just got to say, you guys don't see it, but Jensen looks like half the man he used to be.
That's an accurate statement.
It's
Yeah,
an
literally.
accurate statement,
Yeah.
literally. And you guys at Amps are going to be very surprised. You're going to walk right by him and go, "Who is that young man?" And you're going to be very surprised. You look great, man. Just a great.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, cheers.
He'll still smell the same, but he looks.
That's only if you can
Um,
get him out of the vault. So don't
Yeah,
worry
that's
about
right.
oh
That's
yeah,
right.
I'm not leaving the entire trip.
Nah, man, you look really good. Keep it up.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna go on a wee bit of a tangent here now, but yeah, yeah. I don't know if I've actually ever mentioned it on a recording yet, but like, yeah, I've been on this like diet since January, and I'm as of right now 61 pounds down from January
Dude,
8th. So yeah,
congratulations. That's
That is
wonderful.
yeah.
fantastic, dude.
Cheers. Yeah, it's mad. Like
Uh,
even I'm at the point now where I even like look at myself. I'm like, okay, yeah, you actually look different. Like,
Yeah,
damn.
you
God
gotta buy
damn.
you gotta buy a new wardrobe and everything here.
I know. I'm really trying to avoid it. So if you see me at Amps and you're like, why are his clothes so big? That's why.
Just cut them all in half. That'll work.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, all my clothes are being like held together with gaffer tape. It's
Yeah, just don't tie a knot in it. Put it in the back or the front. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Don't expose your tramp stamp.
Yeah.
which one?
Oh man, no, seriously, you look good, and I think that's just wonderful, and AMPS is going to be a great time.
Oh yeah.
Very
I
much.
mean, the biggest motivation alone is seeing your itinerary for the London trip. It's just like I need to get my fat ass in shape again because that is an exhausting trip. I know you've warned people for the big London trip with SMC. Like, just be aware in advance. It's a lot of walking, and it's like,
Yeah.
guys, I don't think you understand what he means. It's a ton of walking. Like, it's I can just reminisce. Like, we were waiting for the tube. It was like evening. We were cold, and you're like, "You all right, man?" I was just like, "My legs." Like,
And we get on the tube, and I think I saw your soul leave your body and just stay at like Piccadilly Circus.
it's still there, still there.
Still there. It's still wandering the tube stations looking for the body that it left. But no, seriously, it's going to be good. Like we've talked about, there's SMC, but we'll go back to this topic real quick. We're going to do London beforehand. So our UK listeners, if you're interested in meeting up, please let us know. We'll post everything online, but we'll be spending about 5 days in London. Another culture shock for Scott, I think. He's never been there. He's very much looking forward to Bovington. So we'll do Bovington, Duxford, and we'll have a couple free days, but super excited. Jake McKee's going to join us as well, which should be a lot of fun. Jackson, Jeff, and TJ. So there'll be 8 of us and Mickle as well. So we'll actually have 9 folks. We have a Airbnb near Euston, and yeah, it should be great. So if you're in the UK, please join us. It should be a lot of fun. But with that, let's move on. Before we get too deep into it, I definitely want to thank our sponsors, Tamiya USA, Bases by Bill, Tankcraft, and AK Interactive. Can't do this show without you, and our listeners that support us on Patreon. Again, y'all are the lifeblood of this show, and we are very grateful for that. Really great news for people that posted and supported the group build for the 100th episode, which we're now very much past. I just got a load of coins in yesterday, so I will be packing up the last packages and sending them out this next upcoming week or two. I will also have a stock to bring to AMPS and SMC to give out to folks. So please, I appreciate your patience. They are coming. We've also ordered a bunch of stickers and a bunch of other things too. So AMPS is going to be a really great place for swag. And if you're not going to AMPS, we'll make sure you get some as well. But with that, let's dive into our listener base and those that post on the Plastic Posse podcast Facebook page. So with that, I'll just go first. I definitely want to highlight Doug Smith. You all know Doug or Dew or Master of Serpents, our co-host that's on sabbatical. He is recently completed a M4 Sherman. That's the Tamiya 48 scale, given a nice base, some stowage, and it's great to see him building models. So shout out to Doug. Jensen, what did you see?
I had a feeling I was going to choose this before it was even painted. I had to pick Ben Flood with his fur miniatures Henry VIII. I just saw Grant's reaction. I've stolen that from him. Yeah, when I saw the actual post before it even got primer or paint, it was just in its resin cast. I was like, that's a damn impressive piece of resin. And now they've painted it. It's even more impressive. Like the skin tones, the red. This is where I'm going to get my old history wrong. Old Tudor style clothing. I believe Henry VIII was Tudor. I know more about American history than British. But yeah, it's so well done. The fur, the red tones, red's not a very easy color to paint. Even the gold and like it looks like non-metallic metal on all the gold pieces and the gems and it's all just really well done. Very, very well executed piece of historical miniature.
Awesome. Well, with that, I think I can tap dance maybe a few more seconds and then kick it over. Okay, Grant's ready since he was his was taken. So
Yeah, I had a backup just in case. I had a feeling his was that I want to say thing too that the face on his Henry VIII is amazingly done. Did a really good job. I'm gonna go with Russ. Russ Clark. He did the old Nido Croat If you've worked on an old Nido kit for the machining Krieger Croat, you know the plastic is pretty thin, but they did a fantastic job updating it, doing some cast work with it on it. It's a great kit. It's a hard subject to build in that scale, but he did a fantastic job. Now this is just the build; he hasn't painted it yet, but he's doing a wonderful job. A lot of detail work was done on it, and then the casting style they did was really good. So that's my call out.
Yeah, shout out to him. He did a great work not only on the Croat, but he's also been posting. I've seen he finished recently a um a grill diorama
Hmm.
that looks
Yeah.
really nice. It's got a few crew figures. It's in a shop. It's got a little crane with it. So
Yeah.
really, really big shout out to Russ. I think his work's been really good, and we've been following
Yep.
him for a while. I owe him a coin. Russ was so kind enough to put our sticker on the back of his pickup truck with a lot of other folks in the podcast sphere. So I owe him some swag just for the support he's shown us. So Russ, we definitely look forward to seeing you at the AMPS International Show, and can't wait to catch up and see your work in person. You do some awesome stuff. So with that, we've highlighted some folks that have posted online. I think I'm going to go a little bit off script, and great story. We don't have a script for this show, so we're winging it. I want to talk briefly about, I don't know if you two gentlemen have seen it, but the pictures coming from Motion,
Yeah. Oh,
holy cow. Like
yeah.
you want to talk about a show, and audience knows we love to talk about SMC. Motion is another one that I would love to go to. And I've seen a few posts. I've seen 72nd scale armor in one of the groups I've been in. There's a 48. I think David Grummett from MMI posted in the quarter scale group around what 48 scale stuff has been there. And then I saw Steve Baker shared a post with modern jets, and it's like, holy, you look at these models, and I'll kick it over to you folks in a second to talk about it. But like I look at them, and just the very akin to SMC, like the nature around how they're displayed, like it feels like almost everyone, at least in the pictures, everyone is on a base, everyone has a nice name placard, everyone is telling a story. Like it is just a quantum leap, or a paradigm shift. We'll use whatever buzzword we can find
Hmm.
between Europeans and how they treat the hobby to us Americans, which is
Mhm.
more or less tank on a plank, or you got your airplane on a cosmetic mirror. But I don't know if you've seen any, Jensen or Grant, that you want
Mhm.
to talk about.
Yeah, I've actually looked at the Martin Holst post,
Mm,
the one, well, all scale aircraft. There's the aircraft in that thing are unbelievable, and like you said, the basing is just it's everything is telling a story. There's a B-58A on there. It's in metal scheme. It's a big model, but it's on a great little base, and he did some fantastic work on the base with the tarmac and everything, and the Air Force symbol on it and everything. But I mean, there's the quality is phenomenal. It really is,
yeah.
and you're seeing such amazing work that is being shown amazingly. I guess is the best thing I could think of. But I really love what they're doing there. That's another show I really want to go to someday. So
Same,
definitely,
same.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those every year. I'm like, oh, maybe like as the podcast, we should plan to go there. And I know it's much further into Europe, say, than SMC and stuff is. But it's like you say, JB. There's something about these shows in Europe. There's a prestige about them. It's not just a hey, come to the show and buy my kits that are under my desk that have been in my garage for however long, or yeah, here's some models just thrown on a tablecloth.
Right.
There's an elegance and an aura because that's a word that's coming in a lot recently. Aura. Um,
Yeah.
these Euro shows are aura farming. They're just
Mhm.
there's a reason they get the reputation they do, and I think that's just because of the absolute devotion and passion the organizers and attendees have for these shows. It doesn't just become like, oh, it's just another show. It's an event. It's a
Yeah.
big celebration of modeling. And I know we've talked about SMC very much being the ultimate celebration of modeling and be an event as well as like it's you can buy anything you could possibly want there. You can meet anyone you could possibly want to meet there. You can see the best models on the planet at these shows. They just don't fall short in like really any category. The venues tend to be very, very well chosen as well. Like Then it was like, okay, let's just find somewhere that can fit people. It's like, no,
Right.
let's find a place that's well located, has good lighting, good organization, good facilities, good space, just all this. But yeah, this morning and yesterday, to me, that's the same day. I I was looking at all these pictures online. I was just like, that's it. I feel we're missing out there.
Yeah.
Definitely something we're gonna have to one of these years and be like, okay, posse at Mosen. I know it's a stretch because it is quite far east. No, yeah, east into Europe, but it's something we got to do. It just looks impressive.
Yeah.
The one thing that caught my eye was seeing I can't remember the brand. I'm sorry, but it was the huge Antonov cargo
Yes.
plane,
Massive. I
Yeah.
was just looking at that.
Yeah.
humongous, and it's. I was just like, "Hey, okay, someone's going to buy it and build it, and like
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle some. Like, well, I mean, JB, you'll know that what you did for your job that's probably similar scale.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Um,
huge.
big, big ass plane that is. I'm looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
someone build it, but I like it because that show tends to be also where a lot of companies go and do like, hey, no one knows about this, but this is coming out soon.
Yeah.
Um, and that also adds a lot of excitement. It's why I want to go to Japan for that show because it's like the
Yeah.
big reveals happen there. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it looks really fun. And everyone's favorite uncle, Night Shift. He's there this year. Yeah,
Is he there?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
He made it clear he wasn't bringing any models. He's there to meet people and look at models.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping everyone's getting a chance to meet him, and I hope he's having fun because I know he doesn't
Yeah.
really attend shows too much. So that'll be a big occasion for both him and everyone attending.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome because it's funny you mentioned him going and then I looked at some models and I saw there's a the rail tender I think from
Yeah.
AK that he did and
Yeah.
there's a VW that he did and I honestly at first glance I thought they were made by him and then I'm like, "Oh, let me take a closer look." But it heavily influenced by Night
Yeah.
Shift, which is pretty cool, but that's great he's there. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's also
Yeah.
cool. Like one of the models that sticks out to me, I think we even talked about it on the last show. Somebody finished a 48 scale Stuart near
Yeah.
a wall in Normandy, and it's there on the table, and it looks just as great
Yeah.
in a photo. And, okay, here's another topic. Like it's really satisfying to see a model posted online with, I'll just say pro photos, and then
Right.
seeing pictures of it on the table, and it looks just as good, if not
Yeah.
better.
Hmm.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. You bring up some great, and I think these are events, like you said, Jensen. They're everything is and such nice. They get great facilities. And, I was looking through all the pictures this morning and and I'm like, they're seating all the way around the outside of
Yeah.
everything. That's nice. I mean, you don't want to be on your feet all day trying to, steal a seat from somebody. And it's a beautiful environment. The lighting is beautiful in that location. I don't know what it's got to be a
Hmm.
mix of natural light and, electrical light, but it's just amazing. And that I'm looking at that Stewart right now, JB, and it looks just as good in this
Yeah.
picture. It does. It's so good. That analog, the big plane you guys were talking about, the analog. Someone builds that, they need to send pictures to us because we need to see that
Hmm.
built.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's an F4 Phantom that's got part of the tail of by their rear of the vehicle, the aircraft is
Yeah.
pulled off, and you can see all the piping and everything in there. And
Hmm.
it's just awe-inspiring work. I remember watching the Mosin was the show that in the day they would always take huge amounts of pictures and they would put them on the like missing links and all the other things, and you were always looking for what was coming out new and stuff like that. And these great models, and now you see them so quickly now. It's just beautiful work. It's just amazing work. So much good work.
Yeah, and something about Motion too is that,
Yeah.
talking to folks that have been there, the whole town supports this and it's a big money maker for the town too. And that's wonderful. And it's like you said, it's on the list, I think, for Motion and Evan McCallum's over there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should we'll reach out to him, see if he'd come on and talk about the show because it's definitely on our list. And if
Yeah.
I went over, I've looked at it, I'd probably fly into Vienna and then take the
Yeah.
train down. You
Yeah.
can go into Budapest as well, but I've heard Vienna is the easiest one. But man,
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome, and like you said, it's in a beautiful venue.
Yeah.
Gosh, you look at it, and it's in that gymnasium. It's almost like a gladiator event
Yeah.
where all the models are down on the on the court, and then there's the spectators around it. So
Yeah.
it looks pretty awesome, and no
Yeah.
shortage of wonderful work there.
And they do one of the cool things also that some shows are doing now is that they have the map of the world on the thing and everybody
Yeah, yeah,
puts their
yeah.
pin in where they're from. I like that. I don't know.
I
It's just
love
one of
it.
those. I just love that because by the end of the thing, you take a picture of it and there's so much. You can just see it. And it's that. I love that. It's a great idea.
And then also I see Jensen's favorite person there. Who am I talking about?
Himself.
Ah, no. Come on, you love
Um,
this guy. It's figure related.
Oh, Zabat.
oh, well, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
it was so obvious it didn't even come to my mind. It's like, yeah, so I saw the post this morning doing the pan around of all the painted
Yeah,
figures.
Yeah.
For a minute, I was just genuinely, I was like, favorite person? I like people.
yeah.
No, but yeah, like it's, and I know every, I can't speak. That's how good his work is. I mention it every single time. You see his work online, and it looks so rendered and so beautiful. But then you see it in
Yeah.
person, it's like that's
Yeah.
really good. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
it's crazy. Like it looks. It's like you said earlier, JB. Like you get the fancy professional photos, but then these ones it's just like, wow, it actually looks like that.
It's it.
It's not edited. It is as
Mm.
real as it gets, and it looks so outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to see his stuff this year at Las Vegas
Oh,
LVO.
that's right. He came
He
to
was
that,
at,
right?
yeah, he was actually there and selling his stuff, and he was actually entered in the Virgo Vaults uh, contest that they had there.
Nice.
And I got to talk to him for quite a while and got to hold some of his stuff and stuff like that. And that was just his work. His work on eyes alone are amazing.
Yeah.
Just you should see the depth of the eye of his little figure, his miniatures and stuff. It's just phenomenal.
He's an oils guy too.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
Yep.
I've spoken to him about it, and I'm still none the wiser how he does it. I mean,
Yeah.
I in my head I can get the gist because I love working with oils as well. I know TJ
Yeah.
shouts at me because I'm like, I paint my figures with oils, and he's just like, acrylics are so much easier. And he was like, he's not here, so I can say it. And he pulls that stupid shit all the time, where he's just like, if I can do it, you can, man up. And it's like, no, TJ, shut up. You can bench press 350 pounds. I can't. It doesn't mean I can. Yeah, it's like no, oils are nice. They blend. They don't dry in 3 seconds like acrylics do. And I'm
Mhm.
impatient. I like seeing a result pretty quick, and with acrylics,
Mhm.
it's a slower process. But yeah, I love what Zava does with the or Lucas, what he does with he uses blacks for shadows a lot. So the
Yep.
black it just fades it, and you especially if you go like black shadow with red, how well that blends and how
Yeah.
smooth it can look. It's like that's a beautiful combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him. He does a lot of, like you said, the black shadow, but he'll mix in a little bit of a medium blue in it also. So it does that, has that tending. It goes from like a medium blue or a lighter black, I guess would be to a full black. It's just his work is phenomenal. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
And his figures, oh my God, love them.
Yeah.
God, I've got like 12 of them.
Yeah, I got a couple too. And what I
Yes.
love about him, he's jumped into Warhammer.
Yep.
And he was doing a lot of going after the Golden Demon stuff. And oh
Yep.
man, his orcs are awesome. And going back to oils versus acrylics, I need to try it. I took Jim Rice's class
Yep.
last September, and I have a bunch of those tube acrylics from Scale 75, and they look really nice. And I use them on the bust that I painted with him. I think they're a happy medium between oils and true acrylic, just dropper bottles. They were nice because they give you time to blend.
Right.
So maybe there's something there, Jensen.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, yeah, I remember when you first bought them and you brought them back after, because like you say, you tried them at that class and then brought them back and you were like, they behave in a way like oils.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, if I can find an acrylic that behaves like an oil, happy days, because then I don't have the waiting time of oils. Yeah, it's something I know they're not the cheapest paint on the market, but if that means they're good, don't mind paying for it.
Right. And I think, you buy a tube, you'll never, just like oil paints, you buy one tube of Mars Black, you're going to die with that tube of Mars Black.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say too, is that like you guys mentioned that they don't take as long to dry. There's not so much linseed oil and stuff like that in them. So you can clean them out a little bit better. They dry a little faster, which is nice. But those oils Jim Rice does a very good class on how to use those. And those oils they're interesting. I've tried them a couple times. I tried them on a couple of the bigger figures because for me it's harder to paint with that kind of paint or the oils on a smaller figure, just because you're moving it around so much, and I'm afraid I'm going to touch it as much as anything else. But yeah, his work, like you said, and the use of oils and the use of Filters and washes is just phenomenal.
Well, we can all dream of going to Motion.
Yep.
We'll add it
Yeah.
we'll add it to the list. We're
Yeah.
definitely going at some point.
All right, everybody. Well, I am here today with a good friend, Christian from Bases by Bill. Christian, how have you been?
Well, we've been great. It's exciting to see the show season underway, and we've had an opportunity to go to a few and see our customers face to face. So that's always exciting.
Besides being a great partner to the Plastic Posse, Bases by Bill has been a fantastic partner for my own show here in Salt Lake, the Rocky Mountain Expo. Even over and above that, they've also been a very generous sponsor of the Global 48 and 48 annual group build event that benefits Models for Heroes. So, Christian, I just really want to thank you for that effort in particular.
Yeah, we were delighted to help. This is our second year, and we're looking forward to future years. Anything we can do, these days to help people out that are in need, we're happy to do it in our own little contribution.
Well, it's really appreciated, and the U.S. Canadian leg of that, we were able to raise $10,000 to give to Malcolm and his charity, and I know that is going to help a lot of veterans and first responders using this amazing hobby that we share a passion for.
Yeah, it's a tremendous effort, and thank you to your group and everybody that made that possible, including the people that participated in the auction. We really thank you for that.
While we're talking about that, a couple of the items that you have donated that were auctioned off to winners is something that I'm really excited about. It's a new product line of carrier deck bases. And so I was wondering maybe if you could tell our listeners a little bit about what those are and what the intentions are behind them.
Yeah, as you know, right now the carrier decks are brought to you either in Baltic birch or in MDF, and they're 6 millimeters thick, and you can take them and finish them and add things to them. And we got to thinking about, well, is there a way to extend that product a little bit? And the answer is yes. As you know, Bill Wiedeward, the founder of the organization and the namesake, is an excellent woodworker. So what we've done is we've taken about a 3/4 thick cherry board, augured out or routed out the center of it so that it will accept the deck so that it's flush. And then the rest of the cherry hardwood is routed on the edge to give it a very nice finish. And then I think it's available, let's see here, I'm counting in 5 different stains. So we'll be providing those to the winners from the 48 and 48 auction. And then we'll be launching the product here shortly to everybody. So it'll be available both for the carrier decks as well as our relatively new airfield series. So we're pretty excited about that. The innovation came about because when we did the 1/144th scale single engine aircraft carrier decks, we saw that they were way too small to really handle on the show table. And so we added that cherry hardwood base to it to make it a little bit easier to handle or for judges to handle. And then we made some investments in equipment to allow us to make larger holders, the cherry holders. We needed to get some additional equipment to route all of that centerpiece out. So we're pretty excited about it, and we're hoping that our customers will be excited as well.
I'm sure they will. It's a really great way to display a model aircraft. Now, what scales do those come in?
Those come in 172 and 148th to start. We are looking at 132nd, but it turns into an awfully big piece of wood. I think the way to handle that is if you do need it for 132nd, you should just get in touch with us directly, and we can talk to you about what you need and what the price might be for that.
Also, those come in U.S. Navy and also Imperial Japanese Navy, correct?
Yes. And we are, I guess, happy to reveal on this program that we will have modern U.S. carrier decks probably within the next 30 to 45 days. And those will actually come with the 5-prong pad eyes that are used to chain the aircraft down, as well as texture on the decks. So we've been asked for modern stuff for quite some time. Obviously, we're excited about that, and we'll be keep an eye on our Facebook or other pages that we have for more information as that comes along.
Oh, that's awesome. let's kind of review how people can take a look at these photos of these and order and everything. So let's get all your particulars out. Let's start with Facebook and website.
Yeah, we have a page called Bases by Bill. So just simply search in Facebook and you come there and see the various contact information. The real place to go is basesbybill.com. That's where we have all of the products listed. We have various news or blog posts there to help you. That's also a way to contact us. There's a form on every page to contact Bases by Bill if you have questions or suggestions or anything at all that you'd like to talk to us about. We're happy to respond to those.
Yeah, it's really easy to work with these guys. I mean, if you want something custom, they can accommodate so many different things. Anybody that's seen one of their products, seen one of their bases, you know the quality that they invest in making these bases that are, something you could be proud to put a model on. Go check that out. And man, exciting new products.
Yeah, and there are some additional things coming. The airfield bases that we offer right now are basically modern. As you know, a modern jet airfield, you can't have damage or things like that because it's FOD, right? But we're about to introduce aged concrete and then really distressed concrete. So if it's a more austere type of situation or maybe an abandoned aircraft, that'll be cracked with pieces. The other thing is our good friends over in the Soviet Union had some really interesting concrete airfield that were based on hexagons. And so we'll be offering those. There's two different sizes. They had one size used during the Second World War and then another size in the 50s. And then they also invented a thing called the PAG 14. And this was a precast, pre-stressed concrete slab that exposed part of the rebar on each edge to be able them to be welded together. And in fact, there's photos out there of these runways constructed from this PAG 14 still in work and in use. When we were in Afghanistan, we were running our C-17s over this in Kyrgyzstan, I think it was. And it's amazing stuff. So that'll give the Warsaw Pact modelers some additional things to display their aircraft on. And of course, all those bases will fit into the hardwood display. Finally, on the 1144 side, we know that airliners are popular. So we're going to introduce kind of a custom size. You put in a size up to the maximum dimensions that we can put together for you, and we'll make you a modern concrete airfield for your airliners and your larger size 1144 scale. So we've got a lot of products coming this summer. It's really a challenge to keep up right now because we're in the design phase, which frankly is where most of the work occurs. So, and then add to that all of the awards that we're doing. We were proud to be part of the inaugural Rocky Mountain Hobby Expo, and we're looking forward to the second annual Rocky Mountain Hobby Expo. And so we do major awards, gold, silver, bronze, and 1, 2, 3, all sorts of different styles. And if you attend a contest this year, you'll probably see something. We've supported the IPMS Nationals in the past as well. So it's another part of our business that we don't talk about a lot, but just thought I would bring it up for your listeners.
Yeah, it's fantastic quality too. I mean, whether it's the individual coins or medals or the really nice, kind of more beautiful, I guess, special awards, you've got a lot of tricks up your sleeve, and you're really, the custom touches you brought to our awards at the expo were really appreciated. Well, that's exciting news about all those new bases and all those new products. And then you do other products as well, too, right? You do the one-man army masks.
Yes, we have a relationship with One Man Army out of Belgium. Those are precision cut masks with a highly tuned specialized laser and materials that the founder, Sven Verlinde, has put together. We've been offering those since last August. They definitely provide an amazing finish. And what's interesting is that One Man Army is now moving into the 48 scale. So they've been primarily available for 32nd scale aircraft, a little bit of 35th scale armor, but the main focus has been aircraft. So now in April, we'll be able to bring to the United States Hurricane data stencils in 148th, Hurricane Mark 1, and really exciting, Focke-Wulf FW 190 data stencils, national markings, and fuselage numbers and things like that. I've seen the samples. It's amazing how small they are, but it looks like the real thing. Bill just finished old Edward BF-109 E4 and used the one-man army mass for it, and it is a thing of beauty. So we're really excited to be able to continue to bring those products to our customers here in the U.S. And all of those mass sets include shipping. Shipping's included with those.
They're fantastic products. Like you said, the small detail that they're able to get is just tremendous. And there's nothing like painted markings. Especially those small little markings where you've got to have normally so much carrier film that it could be really a challenge to eliminate silvering on those, but being able to custom paint those really takes care of that. So awesome product there. Well, Christian, this is exciting. Lots of great stuff. One more time for the listeners out there, your website.
It's basesbybill.com. As we like to say, there's always something new at Bases by Bill.
Well, thanks for joining me today. We are excited to see the new products, and we will talk with you soon.
Thanks, Scott. Really appreciate it.
But moving on, one of the topics we're going to get into a discussion topic, and Jensen, you brought this one up, so I'll kick it over to you to tee it up, and then we'll just go around the horn and then encourage our listeners to participate as well.
Happy days. Yeah, I was having to think about this. It's not actually this week or last week. It's been a good a couple of months of thinking about this subject actually, because it's come in really, really helpful. So me and a few friends, yeah, sorry, I do have other friends. Criminal, I know. We are planning in June 2026 on going to, instantly forget what it's called. That's good, isn't it? It's an event I've forgotten the name of. Phoenix Fan Fusion. It's in Arizona, in Phoenix, obviously. And it's a 3-day Comic Con. And all the celebrities go to it. You get all the meet and greets, all the video game actors, all anime actors, all this stuff. You know what Comic Con is, I think. And it's something we've been talking about for a while. And we're like, you know what, sod it. Like, give me enough time in advance. I'll try and attend. So we're doing it in 2026 in June in Phoenix, which is going to be incredibly hot. And we've decided we're actually gonna dress up and do our cosplays, which will be hard for me because it means I've got to try and take a cosplay to America. But we're gonna be making our outfits from complete scratch, and because, as most modelers know, and especially the guys in this Zoom call right now will know, we don't like to do things the easy way. We like to just go balls to the wall and be like, yeah, why not pick the hardest possible thing to do for my first attempt at trying something? So if anyone's played the video game Baldur's Gate 3, which is an outstanding game, I've decided I'm going to do the entire cosplay for Ketheric Thorm. One of the reasons I'm on my diet right now is so I can fit in a costume that I'm going to make that doesn't fit right now. I've got over a year to make it. And anyway, I was getting to on all these YouTube videos and that, and learning how to make cosplays and outfits and clothing and all that stuff. And I was surprised at just how much of that translates over from scale modeling or vice versa. Because I was watching these videos, granted, using EVA foam and stuff like that to sculpt and do patterns like you would in clothing. That's all brand new to me. But then I look at the finishing of these costumes and I'm like, I don't need to buy anything or learn anything because all this is stored knowledge and skills I've picked up from nearly 10 years of scale modeling. And that skill is a massive help already. That has reduced work time and financial costs beyond any question. So whilst I have a lot of the tools for crafting all this stuff, with blades, glues, heat guns, all that stuff, got all that. Just materials I need to buy. I have all the paint, the weathering products to make my armor look weathered and metallic. I can add all my gold trims and stuff like that. And I just thought that's one of those moments where it clicked and I was just like, I love it when one hobby or skill you learn can translate over to a bunch of other stuff because it then makes another possible hobby or interest that much easier and that much interesting to do and get involved in. And I was wondering, I wonder if there's situations or other hobbies or interests, or even if in your career, if the guys on the podcast, have you ever found yourself in a situation where all skills and knowledge and experience you've picked up in scale modeling has instantly translated over to something very different?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first, and I love this topic because it's a really interesting one in a sense, and even backing up, just acknowledging it in your workplace, I think is important. And once I've done that, and I've really leaned into it, it's actually been great, and it's been everything from for our listeners who don't know, I work at an aerospace company, and it's everything from marketing from the podcast even to scale modeling related things at work around model actual wind tunnel models, and that's the best example. So we have a bunch of wind tunnel models for our test aircraft, and instead of actually building a model that would cost tens of thousands of dollars of our test aircraft, I just said, well, we can repaint one of the wind tunnel models. I'll paint it in the livery that it is right now. And they're like, oh, you can do that? I'm like, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I'll take it home. I don't think I'll volunteer for that again because that was a big project. But it was actually a lot of fun. It was, I think it's like a 1/6 scale model. It's probably measuring at about 5 feet. It honestly weighs like 60 pounds because it's milled out of stainless steel for most of the fuselage and wings. And then the forward section is like a heavy composite. But it, again, modeling skills 101. It was filling and sanding. It was priming, it was painting. Now I used automotive paint, which I've never used before, so I had to, mask up for that and wear goggles. But that's a clear example where scale modeling definitely it was literally modeling at work, and I've used it since then in terms of how we repair things, or we have a passenger experience lab where we mock up cabin things and look at in the interior of the aircraft, or again more models of the actual airliner we're looking to build, and just little comments throughout the day. We're thinking about 3D printing, some prototyping. I'm like, well, they're like, oh, you have one? I'm like, yeah, I got a resin one at home. And it's all around like, okay, well, what would you recommend? Is this right? Does this sound okay? I'm like, actually you should, because they were like, oh, we should get a form. I'm like, well, one thing about form is you got to buy their proprietary resin and this and this. And I'm like, consider, an Anycubic or a frozen, because they can use essentially open source resin and other things. So bottom line is it almost comes up on a daily at work, especially when you work at a company, and Grant probably experiences this too, where you're more in kind of the R&D sphere and you're more into prototyping. It's all relevant. And even as I said, in terms of like the podcast and scale modeling, it's made a difference at work where, my boss is looking to go on podcasts and we talk about audio setup and what's the background look like, and just thinking about all these things that are related to our hobby and having these conversations open at work. And now it's gotten to a point where it's just part of the default conversation when we're going through certain things like, oh, JB, well, what do you think about building it this way? I'm like, oh, cool. So anyway, Grant, over to you.
Yeah, I also work in aerospace in Los Angeles, and I find myself, once they found out that I was a model maker, which I told them right out, and I find myself helping with I painted stuff for F-18 flight testers for the government. I've painted stuff for John Deere that we've done for them and stuff like that. And it's just kind of like you say, John, it's like it's gotten me invited to a lot more meetings. I don't know if that's good or bad, but where they'll come in and say, hey, well, how would we do this? And then they would go through the mechanical way. Then they'll say, hey, Grant, what would you do? And 3D printing is always huge. We do a lot of 3D printing of our stuff because we do rapid reproduction and stuff like that. So instead of taking 6 months to get a project out, we'll do it in 2. So everything we've done is extremely fast. So we do a lot of 3D printing, a huge amount of 3D printing. A lot of our own. We have our own metal shops. We have our own cutters. We have everything. So the hobby has become an asset, I think, for myself and the company, having people that work in that asset. And there's a lot of people in my company now that listen to the podcast just by, talking to me and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people that have found the hobby again, I think, at work because of what, the interaction that we've had. I also find it helps me. I mean, I'm going to go a little bit off subject. I'm sorry, but following directions, steps 1, 2, 3, do this, do this, has helped me a lot in my production work at work, because it's easier for me to understand that process because I've built models for so long. I know that there's a process and how things fit together and how to get rid of seam lines, how to get rid of defects, how to fix things. There's so much you can do with Bondo. And when you're working with like older things that have been produced out of metal or something like that, JB, I'm sure you had to go through this with the aircraft. You have to fix it, and Bondo is one of those key things that you're not building a car, but you're fixing something, and it's just great that process. I have it built into my head now. And I look at what like Jensen's talking about. I see, especially on like Adam Savage's podcast, you see Adam talking a lot about how the interaction of modeling skills helps him in everyday life as a maker. And I think back to, and you couldn't have picked an easier project to build for yourself, Jensen. Please come on now. That's
Of course.
The amount of paint alone is going to be interesting. But that how people do that, and you see the modeling skills, you see how they cut it, how they fold it, how they put seam lines in it, and this little hobby that we have is so, it reaches out so far into different things. It's so far out that I think a lot of us forget about it. And another great example, and I don't mean to ramble, is TJ talking about piping and how AC projects work. And you can see I remember completely when we were talking about the new mini art kits and they came out with the AC piping that was for modern kids. And TJ was like, that's right. And because he knew what it looked like from real life, and they compared it, and he's like, that stuff is golden, and I think that's a very interesting subject, and I like how we can take this little hobby and move it around and shake it up, and we're still doing the same thing. So that's a ramble.
Oh yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, we love a ramble.
Yeah.
It's funny. There's a few things I've noticed. One is when you're a scale modeler, how you instantly become the repair guy as well. Like people are like, oh, this thing's broken. Can you fix it? It's just like I build models, but yeah, I suppose I can. That's what I am in this house. My mum's always just like, I broke this thing. It's like that's jewelry. I build plastic models. They're not the same, but okay, I can try. And also, when people find out you have a 3D printer, how useful you become. I found that out with the cosplay stuff because obviously the people I'm going with, they want props like small daggers or little things for the costume. And like, I found this STL. Can you print it? I'm like, I can. I'm more than capable. But I was like, that's 16 hours of print, and resin isn't free. But yeah, it's great the little skills you pick up and like. I mean, this is a very massive side note tangent. And then I understand why people don't want to buy 3D printers. For example, like the resin ones are quite toxic, let's face it, they don't smell good. And things like that, and running cost and yada yada. But I think resin 3D printers getting to that point now where it's just like it's become so affordable. I don't want to say there's no reason to not do it, but it's very accessible. I think to a lot of people still who aren't experienced in the hobby or 3D printing it's still very alien and intimidating and daunting. Where actually nowadays it's like that's a plug and play machine. You buy it, you stick your file in it, pour some resin in, just make sure it's level and stuff, and you've got yourself a nice print. The hardest bit afterwards is just making sure they're educated enough on, ventilation, cleaning, all that stuff. So I'm trying to persuade my friends to get them so I don't have to print things for a week. But yeah, I just think that the transfer over of skills and knowledge, I think that's a big one as well as the actual practical side of what we do. Because of the things we learn, we can tell the people who ask us for advice or whatever. We can help educate them and be like, oh, actually, it's really simple if you break it down like this, and then they know it and they can use that in the future and then pass it on again. And it's all about sharing the knowledge.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I think back to examples. We were gearing up for the Paris Air Show 2 years ago when we were looking at, okay, what kind of little engine models can we make? I'm like, well, give me the STL. I'll go home and resin print one and let me test it. And test printed a couple different scales, different resolutions and whatnot, and brought them in. And it was kind of eye-opening. They're like, "Holy cow, you can print this at home!" I'm like, yeah, it's science fiction. We take goo and turn it into a part. But like you said, Jensen, you become you become a default consigliere for a lot of these things. That let's be honest, these tools, whether it's 3D printers, even Bondo, like Grant had mentioned, there's not a lot of people do that stuff. The hands-on aspect of hobbies, gosh, now I'm going to sound old, but in terms of like the hands-on type of work, that's not terribly common, I'd
Mm-hmm.
say. I don't want to I don't want to minimize a large population of the world, but I think it's interesting that as scale modelers, you're exposed to a lot of different fabrication techniques. That can be everything from, welding photo etch, annealing it,
Mhm.
to mixing resin compounds, sanding, Bondo, all these different things. They're definitely applicable in a world like where Grant and I live. That's, again, rapid prototyping, quick and dirty. And even going back, I'll even say like painting the model for the Farnborough show this last year. It was pretty cool to like then go set it up at Farnborough, and then you see it in all these news, pictures and stuff, and everybody's standing and posing next to it. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. You can touch that one. It's made out of automotive paint. If it was in Tamiya paint, I'd probably be like, get your hands off of it. Get off of it. Go away. Go away. And then I'll even end, we have another, it's actually a really big model of our engine. And during transportation, it had cracked just because like a strap had fallen on it. And then it got hot because it was in a trailer and it warped. And they were like, can you come over and fix it? I'm like, I don't want to fix this, but I can come over and tell you how to fix it potentially. So I went over to our one shop and I looked at it because it was the outer shell of it and it had cracked right where it's essentially cut out. You can look at the internal configuration of the engine. And they're like, oh, you think we can glue it? I'm like, what I would do is I'd take a heat gun, I'd heat this up, I'd form it back, and then I'd literally stand there and hold it in place as it cools and put some even 5-minute epoxy in there so it bonds while it's cooling, and then sand it and then repaint the entire outside. Don't bother, repainting the inside. You can just do this one swath, and I wouldn't even mask it because your metallic paint, you're never going to get it perfect. And if you mask it, you'll see the clear delineation line. But if you overspray underneath the overhang, no one's ever going to look up in there. So just paint the whole outside of the body because it needs a fresh coat anyway. They're like, oh, okay. Come back a week later and sure as shit, it worked. And they're like, oh man, thanks. That was really good. How'd you know how to do that? I'm like, well, I build scale models. That's what I do on a daily basis. If you build a gosh, what is a good example? If you build a limited run kit from Eastern Europe, you know how to reform plastic and make things square. But no, I think it's a really interesting topic, Jensen. And I'd be curious what our listeners think as well, because it definitely comes in handy.
Oh, absolutely. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but yeah, if anyone's going to Phoenix Fan Fusion in 2026, I'll be there.
You should go see Andy's Hobby headquarters while you're out there, man.
It,
You're
it,
right
it's it,
there.
it's so funny. Like I noticed the new shops opened and that, and I was saying that to them. I was just like, "Do you guys mind if I just kind of do a dip and like go and see this really big new model shop?" And they were just like, "Yeah, fine. Look, I'm there for 10 days anyway, so it's going to be a busy
You're there
trip."
for
But
10 days?
yeah, yeah,
Well,
big trip.
maybe
So I
I'll
say
fly in for a day and drag you out to the hobby shop.
that sounds. Cause I was thinking, I was like, that's actually not too far from you and Scott, like
Yeah, it's
because
quick.
yeah, it's really not far at all. So it's I think it's like first or second weekend in June. So it's
Okay.
but yeah,
Dude, if
yeah,
it's the
no.
second weekend in June, you got to stay a little longer and go to Scott's show.
Yeah, that's a good part. I forget his show is in June, and I've never been to Utah. And this is way off subject now.
Come stay in Denver for a little while and then we'll drive over.
Oh, that's Tiff. Yeah, I mean that's actually not a bad call. There's a lot there. I want to do. We want to see like Grand Canyon and that. Scott keeps recommending a place. I keep forgetting its name, and it's like
Bryce
a clean.
Canyon?
Boom. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. He's like, you got to go see that. And I'm just like, if I'm in the area, I will. Problem is, I don't want to die of the heat because I
We have
like,
air conditioning. We're not we're not a
but
third world nation.
Britain.
We're
Um,
not Britain for crying out loud. We have ice as well.
I keep getting told like Arizona summer, it's death. Is it as bad as the other guys making out? Because
It's hot. It's a dry heat. I know, just like a lot of people have said, and Grant lives in this because he's in SoCal. I mean, you're not outside for a period of time that it's going to affect you. To be honest, I would take Arizona, New Mexico in the summer over Omaha when we went for Nats because
okay,
it
right,
is so humid
Yeah, I was gonna
that
say there's no humidity.
yeah, Arizona is so much better than,
Yeah.
gosh, Florida or anywhere in the
Oh,
South, Louisiana,
oh,
Alabama. Like, I will take dry heat 115 over
yeah,
95 in humidity any day of the week. No
yeah,
question.
happy
easy.
days then. Because
Yeah,
that's why I really liked Colorado. It was
yeah,
dry. It
Yeah,
was
it's
yeah,
dry.
really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, well, that's good, and I think we're going to also. This has just turned into a complete not modeling thing
It's
now, but
okay. That's fine. Scott's not here to keep us in track. So,
Exactly.
I think we're also going to take a drive up to Flagstaff.
oh,
Yeah.
So
nice.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
and harass Steve Munsell.
That's where he
Yeah.
lives.
I was
Yeah.
about to say hi. I'm
Yeah.
here now, and I'm now your
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Um,
You've just got another employee at Value Gear.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So
so-
once you get out of the basin in Arizona, the Phoenix, Tucson area, and you move up towards Flagstaff and you move up like Monument Valley and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it will cool down. It will not be
Yeah.
as hot, and it's a beautiful area. I mean, I live like 6 hours from Phoenix, so if you guys decide to go to Andy's, I'll just
We
drive
should do a
over.
trip. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's happening. It's
yeah.
arranged now. It's got to happen.
Just load up the Jeep and I'll just like take everything from Andy's out and just go home. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
you'll have a blast if you could do it. If you could make it a huge trip like that, and you drive up from Phoenix to like say Monument Valley and Flagstaff, and then go up into Grand Canyon. It's phenomenally beautiful. You would enjoy it. Something you would never forget.
No, I was just gonna say, and if it's close enough to Scott's show, like
Yeah,
just come stay with me for a week in Denver, and
yeah,
then we'll drive over to Scott's show.
yeah.
It's happening then, isn't it? It's
You can have the basement. It's all good.
yeah. My quarters.
Your
Yeah.
quarters, that's right.
I mean, it's a deal. Then we're good. It was funny because I was telling my friends I was like, why I like going to Denver so much. From the last time we went. And then it turned into this ongoing joke. I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. My mate JB, he's like practically give me his house at this point. And then I was invited. I was like, yeah, you two can come over as well. Like, but yeah, we're going up to Flags. We're going to get like a cabin in the woods. No one's getting murdered. And we're going to like play some D&D. That's Dungeons and Dragons, not anything else, JB. Yeah. It's a really nerdy trip, but then again, all the trips we do on this podcast are nerdy, so there's nothing to be ashamed of there.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I hope you make it out to Andy's. Gosh, did you see some of the pictures from his new place?
My God.
My word.
Good for him, man.
Yeah.
I know I mean, I think it's okay to openly acknowledge like there's some haters on Andy. Like
Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
seen it. I've seen
Yeah.
it on some of the videos. I've even heard it in person.
Yep.
People talking about his scale modeling mediocre. It's like, yeah, now you gave him a brand. He's making money
Yeah.
off of your
Yeah.
slight.
Yeah.
So I love Andy. I think he's the best thing for the hobby.
Yep.
And what he has and what he's doing for, the American side of the hobby is awesome.
Yeah.
And seeing what his stores become and again, employing his wife and family, and it's just awesome. And I
Yeah.
can't wait to go visit it.
Yeah, I
Well-
mean the work that he's done by bringing. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Jensen. Sorry, but the thing is that his work he's done with bringing European modelers like Das Work over
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal, and his store is amazing. And if you want a flashback, go to his YouTube page and go to his very first video,
Yeah.
and then go to his latest video, and you see, and like I said, there's people out there that are not that kind to him. But
Yeah.
every time we've met him, I mean, I remember him giving you the 116 251.
Yeah.
I think it was in Texas. Yeah.
Texas,
And,
yeah.
yeah. And this is the nicest. And the owner of Das Works was there, and he just was
Yeah.
handing out, he just gave me a couple of kids. They're the nicest guys. I mean, he
Yeah.
deserves it, every bit of it. He's worked his ass off. And he's the American story. He's just took something that he loved and it made it a huge opportunity for him and his family. So,
Yeah. I mean, simply putting it, jealousy can make you hateful.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much
And
so.
that's what it is. They've seen someone do miraculously well
Yep.
in the hobby, and you always get a very loud minority who are like, "It's criminal to make money from a hobby."
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's called business. That's kind of how the world works and how capitalism works. So, people need money to live,
Yeah.
and he's done it really well. And
Yeah.
he's. I mean, I don't say fame comes with success. He's
Yeah.
done it all right. He's never. I don't think he's ever like. He doesn't tread on toes. He's friendly. He's approachable. He does everything right, and he's got rewarded for it. To a lot of people, that's not a good thing for some reason. But
Yeah.
that's why that quiet minority doesn't have the success he has.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I truly believe good things happen to good people, and
Yep.
he's good people. And
Yep.
and like you said, Grant, not only bringing Das work in, but you think of his influence on Tacom
Mm,
and certainly the 1/16 scale market. But
yep.
I think a lot of Tacom's success and a lot of brands that have aligned themselves with Andy, they are successful because of him. He has such a
Oh, yeah.
listener base. And the way he builds them in
Hmm.
simplistic, straightforward videos, they sell kits.
Yep.
And yes, we all love and know Night Shift, but there is a
Yeah.
different demographic that really Andy connects to. And Andy's,
Yeah.
Andy spreads the gamut from, the most advanced modelers that are like the Uncle Night Shifts to the ones that are just beginning, and he's
Right.
relatable to all of them. And
Yep.
super happy for him. And yeah, Jensen, we're just gonna make it a trip. We'll go to
Yeah.
Phoenix
Yeah.
and we'll pick you up and we'll go out to Andy's for the day. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be great. Very much looking forward to that. It just makes
Yeah.
a fun trip even more fun.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So listeners, yeah, add that to the calendar as well for 2026.
I don't know if you saw it, JB, but also there's it's called the Break in the Deck, Break on the Deck, I think it is the model from Moson. I don't know, I can't
Oh,
remember. It's a he built a build book with it. It's basically from 1918. It's a British aircraft that's on a World War One, basically aircraft carrier or part of
oh,
aircraft.
cool.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. The guy built. I'll send you pictures of it in the chat, but it's just
Yeah.
it's so good.
Did you see
So
the Nat Geo one? The guy
yes,
he put the Land Rover in the
yeah,
Nat Geo cover thing with the
yeah.
jungle, and I'm
I know it's such
like,
a great idea.
yeah, it's like, gosh, it's so good. And I look at what Martin shared in the group that from PK Productions with the modern jets, and like there's a couple Su-27s in there, and like
Yes.
they're all opened up or the
Yeah.
wings folded, and there's a Su-22 I think in there too with the
Yeah.
spine open, F4 Phantom with the spine open.
Mine
It's
open.
like these are
Yeah.
just really good models and
Yeah. It's such
extremely well displayed.
that's what I was going to say is that the display on them, they're fantastic, beautiful models, but then you add the display that they're using and it's just so much better. It just makes it so nice.
Yeah, you look down there's a picture they took, and I'm looking down this table, and everyone has a base, and
Yep.
everyone has a finished tarmac or
Yep.
flight deck. I mean,
Yep.
it's just wild how well they're displayed. And it's
Yeah.
wood bases, it's laser cut bases, it's elevated bases, it's
Mhm.
a mirrored base, but then the aircraft is raised on plexiglass above it so you can get a better angle to see under it. It's just freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of bases, real quick, while we're waiting for Jensen's back. Bases by Bill. Did you just send the dimensions for your bases you wanted, or did you buy
yes.
it? Okay.
No, just talk to Christian, send him a
Okay.
message. I actually need to send him another one. Tell him the dimensions you want and the style. I don't
Right.
have one on me readily, but like I did a block and then underneath it there's a plate with like a routed edge so it sticks
Right.
out a little bit.
Right.
And they nailed it. And he sent me
Okay.
two of them. I got to order more. They're so good. And I
Right.
was I was originally gonna like pop my M1340 off of it and then put something
Uh-huh.
else on, but the base looks so good with the model on it. I'm just gonna glue
Right.
that to it and keep it all in one. And it's like it's well worth, the price of admission to make it pro. So
Right. I just got my plaque for my Star Wars pod that I
yeah.
finished, and I got that, and it's too big for the plaque, the base I have, and I want to get a bigger one. So I'm thinking it's probably just going to get a hold of them and have them do it for me. So yeah.
Yeah. So, listeners, this is an informal plug for Bases by Bill. They not only
Sorry.
that's okay. No, it's good. They also have, in addition to the standard bases, Christian and team over there are fantastic to get
Yeah.
any custom work done. But with that, I'm going to briefly talk about some upcoming shows. There's a few of them. So there is SilverCon, which is coming up on May 17th in Sacramento, California at the Town and Country Lutheran Church and on Marconi Avenue. Doors open at 9. Registration ends at noon. And this year's theme is 55 to 75. More details to come on their Facebook page. There's also the Best of the West show, Saturday, May 24th. That is the weekend following AMPS. That'll be at the Orleans Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. There's also IPMS Houston, May 3rd at the Stratford Center in Stratford, Texas. They're going GSB. Yes, go open judging. There's also the AMPS Nationals, which we've talked about. That's the 15th, 16th, and 17th. That by the time this episode drops, it'll be nearly 2 weeks away. And then there's also the Rocky Mountain Hobby Expo, which is in Salt Lake City, which is being led by our esteemed leader and colleague, Scott Gentry, who is up at a awesome military museum in Wyoming this recording session. With that, we're going to kick it over to Jensen to talk about his favorite theme here on the podcast, and that is
merchandise. Get screamed at. That's right, everyone. If you would like to look positively dashing, simply dreamy, if you would like to look simply dapper and represent your favorite scale modeling podcast, the Triple P, you can check out our absolutely wonderful attire at the Triple P spring page. That is loungetrousers.com. And on their website, you can find t-shirts, lounge trousers, mugs, stickers. You really will look the belle of the ball at your next model meeting. So head over to loungetrousers.com and pick up all your stylish merchandise there.
Well, thank you very much, Jensen. This has been a great recording episode. We're going to end on that high note, listeners. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 115. It's been a shorter one, but it's been a fun one. As we noted during the episode, if you want to contribute to the discussion, please feel free to message us, email us, or just post online, specifically about how this hobby has helped in your work and personal life outside of just building models. So with that, thank you so much. Catch us in 2 weeks. Geez, see us in person in nearly 2 weeks, including Jensen at the AMP show. If you see us there, please come over and say hi. We'll have a table. Can't wait to see you. And until then, build models, stay calm, and model on. Cheers. We're not doing yeehaws anymore. Some listener didn't like it. Somebody was drinking Haterade. And to completely end this episode, one of the best ways to support us at the Plastic Posse is to become a Plastic Posse Outrider. If you want to become one, it's really easy. Just head on over to patreon.com/Plastic Posse Podcast and set up a recurring donation there. These contributions help offset the costs of bringing the posse to you every 2 weeks. There are 3 different tiers from just $1 a month. There are also great benefits of being an outrider, like early access to podcasts, premium access to hosts, and a chance to appear on the podcast. Also, we have exclusive Plastic Posse content and social media events at shows. And with that, I'll kick it over to Jensen to talk about our deputy marshals.
Okie dokie. Yes, so let's recognize our amazing deputy marshals. These contributions help the posse do what we do. And we sincerely, I'm going to start that bit again because I can't fucking speak. And we do sincerely thank them for all the support they give us on the podcast. So, starting off, we have Rob Booth. He's our newest one, isn't he? Or is that from last time?
That's last time.
Right, I'll ignore. I'll just say his name. Okay. Rob Booth, Dave Clark, Richard Lane, Robbie Knopfs, Wesley Becker, Eric Degleish, David Wassel, Matt Tupman, Glenn Phelan, Patrick Neff, Zach Pease, Brett Marquardt, Greg Williams, Nick Wolf, Brian Clark, Sean Earl, Black Hat Scale Models, Craig Jarbo, Adam Jackson, Red Beach One Studios, James Arando, Mike Norris, Stephen Rodwell, Rick Cooper, Eric Cavina, John Hale, Eric Kane, Logan Hansen, Paul Burdett, Tim Gibcom, Dan Newman, Robert Blocker, Tyler Moore, Derek Post, Craig Flynn, Ken Childress, Drew Gardner, Scott Hall, Frank Perrone, The Voice of Bob, Jeremy Diamond, Terry Wilkinson, Chris Lovewell, Andrew Callis, Ethan Idenmill, Steve Baker, Joe Porcher, Patrick Brown, Jay Kidd, Brandon Gentry, Lee Fogel, Robert Klein, Mark Ewing, Toadman, Model Doc, Doug Reed, Greg James, Les Wakala, John Everetti, I just read it. I was just like, that sounds Italian. John Everetti, Uncle Uncle Buck, Mark Bradley, Eric Brubaker, Jeremy Moore, DB Scale Model Studio, Jeremy Elliott, Mike Talley, Previous C, Mediocre Middle-Aged Modeler, Dan Knopfel, and of course, GC Osborne.
Let's not forget our posse foreman. This crew is made up of posse outriders who give the deputy marshals a hand and also like to thank them for their support. Ozzy Modeler, Graham, Keith, Dwayne, AK Armor, Bill, JK, Casey, Theresa, Raphael, Russ, Stefan, Mikkel, LeVar, Gil, Mike, Michael, Steve, Scott, Emery, The Krieger, Ozzy Modeler, William, Jeff, Eddie, Ross, Warhoff Models, G. Baker, Tom's Stuff, Crazy Loca, Len, Cliff, Damon, Cody, Nukeman Mike, Ash, Irish Pat, Paul, iBones Models, Mr. Grizz, Jackson, Joel, Chris, Jamie, MD Models, Papa Steve Munsell, JV, Eric, Matthew, and David. And of course, our $1 and free Posse Outriders. Thanks, guys. Also want to say a quick thanks out to our sponsors, Tankcraft, Tamaya USA, Bases by Bill, and AK Interact.